All right. Let me make sure we're on the right one. Yeah, I can hear us. All right. How about you, Dorlyn? Go ahead and speak. Let's see. Yeah, let me make sure that you're up all the way. All right, try again.
All right. Hello, everybody. Also, I don't know if you need me to adjust the volume on my physical mic, let me know.
Yeah, we just want to know if we sound even, and if you can hear us in the chat. All right, time for your said sounds good. Kathy Co said nice, sounds working. Okay, cool. Hey, Anto NL, first time in the chat. They say hello.
Welcome.
Liz is in the house too.
That's what's up. Hey, Liz.
They said 4:15 is perfect today. Needed food and coffee. Same. Bob Forno, what's up, Bob?
Exactly.
Bob said waiting as I set up the new Mac. Ooh, which Mac did you get?
Ooh.
Okay, so if you're here to learn about semantic HTML with us because we'll be learning too. We have some helpers who will be in the chat who will kind of be helping out as far as like making sure that the code that we're writing is nice and tight and that the terms that we're using are correct. Because as we know, me and Dorlyn, we are not actual front end developers. We're just accessibility experts, I guess we can call ourselves, and we don't write code every day. So the examples we'll be showing you are examples that we found based on our research and doing the body of knowledge for the Web Accessibility Specialist IAAP certification. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer first and also say hello to everyone and see how everyone's doing. And then we're going to get into announcements, which will take a few minutes. And then we're going to jump right into learning about semantic HTML. I'm going to read some of these messages in the chat. If this is your first time hanging out with us, I usually read all the messages in the chat so that anyone who can't see the screen can at least know what's going on in the chat, and so that Dorlyn also can participate.
It's also great for those people who are multitasking and listening to us in the background.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people do that. So this is for you guys. Shout out to y'all who watch us while they're doing other things or later on YouTube. All right. Let's see. Oh, Liz said that they finished their Alley Talk slides and they have them accessible. Good. That reminds me,
Yay.
everyone, if you need captions, go ahead and check for the caption button that should be there. I think it should be working. I hope it's working. I clicked on it today to make it work. So if it's not working, let me know. Kathy said, hey, everyone. Livey 1688, first time in chat. What's up? They say, hi, everyone. Oh, Bob got
Awesome.
a
Welcome.
MacBook Pro 2019 i9 16 gig, 1 terabyte. Wow. All right. One
Ooh.
terabyte used from work. Nice. I think Liz has dropped a link. Maybe this is for the accessible training, which I would love to see. So what I'm going to be doing is, like usual, I'm going to be taking whatever we put in the whatever resources we get in the chat. I'm going to throw it in that Google Doc that we have for our links, and then one of our angels, accessibility angels, will go in and make it accessible for everyone. And then I'll share that. I'll share that link for everyone as well. So let me do that now.
Oh my goodness. We've got our AAA squad, Africa's Accessibility Angels.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just go in there sometimes and
Great.
it's looks completely different and awesome and no one tells me and I'm just like, wow, someone did this, so nice.
Yay.
Where is it?
Also, hi, Kathy. I didn't say hi, Kathy. Good to have you here.
I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in here. I'll look for it later though, and grab some of those links. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, just
All
gonna
right.
change something so that you can see the chat a little bit better. Move to the top. There we go. All right, we're working on semantic HTML today. And we're going to start today with a few announcements. So for anybody watching after we're putting this up, you might want to skip like maybe 20 minutes in or 15 minutes in from here to get to the meat of everything. Because this is for the group of people who, if you're interested, you're probably active in our group. So some announcements. Next month, we won't be doing the first and third Thursdays. I believe we'll be doing the first Thursday and the fourth Thursday. And we'll also make a flyer for it so everyone remembers and puts it in the group. The other thing we wanted to talk about was the newsletter. So we'll drop a link for that as well in the chat and other places so that everyone can get captured. But we want to do a monthly newsletter so that anyone who misses the streams or just needs a place where all of our links are and can't really access our Discord are able to get all that information. And I think it'll just be good to synthesize everything like monthly so that everyone can kind of get that information. Anything you want to say about the newsletter, Dorlyn?
I'm looking forward to it. I think that it is a nice option for folks that don't want to have to interact with or learn one of the other areas we're working with, to be able to quickly grab the links. As soon as we figure out the heading structure, I'll be happier. But I'm really looking forward to it. So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, so I shouldn't say differences, but one of the things we're trying to do more of is make our material more accessible so that everyone can get it in all the different forms that they may be consuming the information. And we figured that email is something that everyone kind of uses. I can't say everyone, but someone may not use Discord or use Slack or one of those things, but they probably have an email address. So that's why we kind of figured a newsletter would be nice to have. And also for those who just want like a bite-sized version of everything we did within that month and all the resources and just like a summary of what we did. Figured that would be cool.
I also find sometimes emails I'm still learning Discord and the likes, but I think emails can also be a good way to search back for information when you're like, oh, what was that one thing I wanted to find? You can quickly pull up your list of whatever emails and search through them.
True. Very true. It's easy to filter through. I'd say that much.
That's a much more succinct way of putting what I just said.
All right. So we're going to talk about Discord. We're going to talk about some community help. And we might skip over fun things that happen and leave it for the end, just for the sake of time today. All right, like I said, stream dates for next month. It's going to be the first Thursday, May 2nd, and the fourth Thursday, May 23rd, because I'm going on vacation.
Well, the third Thursday of the month is actually, I believe, Global Accessibility Awareness Day, GAD. So there might be some other events people want to check out that day too. So I think it's going to work out well.
Yeah. Tell us more about GAD.
Oh, that's about all I got for this year. I just think I got an email from one of the accessibility groups I follow talking about it already and made a mental note that it was a Thursday. And so when you said we were changing ours, I was thought about that. But I think Global Accessibility Awareness Day has been going on for several years now. And a lot of groups will do really great presentations and panels on that day regarding accessibility. So it's a good day to tune in around the web.
Yeah. If anyone
Sorry,
else
sorry, I don't
knows,
have more info, guys.
well, that's why we have Google. Google is our friend. I'm sure somebody will give us some information in the group about something happening for it. I actually don't know
There
much
we
about
go.
like what's happening for that day. Dorlyn was the one who told me about it, and I was like, oh, something to think about. There's always good things coming out with trainings and stuff, so I'm curious.
Yeah, we will see that. Well, I guess teaser for everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All
All
right, we
right.
talked about the newsletter, summary, important info, all in one. We're gonna try to start next month, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay, y'all.
Oh, so remember to get your email addresses. How can people
Yes.
do that?
Let me put that in the link in the chat right now. Where did I put it? Is the question today. Oh, here it is. I found it.
Yay. Sorry to call you out on the fly like that.
It's all good. Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm moving a little slower than usual today. I'm a little more tired, but I'm excited to get into this. All right, here we go. And put this in the chat. And I also have too many like screens and tabs open. All right, there goes our newsletter. Please sign up if you would like more information and a summary of all our stuff. Okay,
Awesome.
so let's talk about Discord. Let's talk about it. Let's take a few moments to talk about Discord, what we love and hate about it, and how accessible we think it is. I invite people in the chat as well to let me know what you think about Discord and what your experience is using it, especially if you happen to have a disability of some sort. We want to talk about Discord because Discord, while it is a beautiful place that a lot of us love and works well for certain types of groups, for us in particular, I'm finding that it's causing more barriers than solving barriers. I'd say it definitely solved having a place for us to all convene and having channels where we can put information and share resources and chat with each other. But it is pretty cumbersome to navigate, especially if you're using assistive technology. Using assistive technology with Discord can be accessible if you have a lot of time and a lot of cognitive power to power through that exercise. But if you're short on time, energy, the will to power through it, because it is a grind, I think, to learn it, it becomes a real barrier, and you even wanting to engage with a community that should, I think, be putting accessibility at the forefront. So this is not just a me thing or just a Dorlyn thing. A few people have emailed me and let me know that Discord does not work for them based off of like different assistive technology they're using. And we just wanted to kind of take a step back and look to see about how we can solve this problem of Discord being so big and cumbersome. And we figured we'd bring it to the community and think of some alternatives. So I'm curious of what people in the chat think about Discord. And I also want to hear from Dorlyn about it.
Well, I have definitely found it to be quite a learning curve, trying to participate in Discord because it's the first Discord group I've joined. Um, I have found that for the most part, everything does seem to be accessible. I think when it comes to using it, though, it is a little overwhelming. And, um, I think with time, like you said, if you've got time, you can definitely get to know it. And I've been getting to know it more, but I have found, just trying to find our different conversations or follow the conversation in the order that it was written in, I've found a little challenging. So I don't think I have engaged with Discord nearly as much as I otherwise would have. I also know with their edit boxes, which is something I'm not a huge fan of interacting with in general because I'm always afraid of making a mistake and I don't want to be judged. I know our group would not judge me, but there's the edit field boxes. I found it, I wasn't always hearing my text read back to me the way I would usually expect. And that was kind of, I don't know, kept me from engaging. Like I never introduced myself, guys. Although I've introduced myself here, so hopefully you guys know who I am despite my absence on Discord. But like I said, I do feel most of it is actually accessible. And if you're able to take the time to use it and go through that, it does seem like a very robust platform, and that's pretty cool. One thing was the CAPTCHA issue in trying to get into it. I really struggled with it. And some CAPTCHAs are easier than others, but theirs was particularly troublesome. And so I am definitely looking forward to us finding another way of convening together. Although if it were just me struggling with Discord, I'd be happy to struggle and figure it out. And, if everyone was using it. But I think the fact that other folks are having trouble too, I think, like you said, we don't want to add a barrier to be able to learn about web accessibility with us. If it's not a platform you're already using, you shouldn't have to. You might have to learn something to learn anything, I guess, but Discord might be a little bit more cumbersome than it needs to be.
Yeah, and when we decided on Discord for this group, it was because we thought we would have breakout sessions where we study like once a week together in one of the rooms because you can do voice and video chat, and we really just never used it. So I feel like Discord is just too big and too much for what we're trying to accomplish, which is just have a place for resources and for us to discuss things amongst ourselves and give everyone announcements and notices when we're live, to have people come on if they want, and for everyone to talk amongst themselves about accessibility. So with that, I'm going to read a few of these messages.
Great.
Kathy said, good point with being able to look through emails. Yep. Liz dropped a PDF to their Alley TO camp talk at Microsoft this weekend. They're done in Figma.
Nice.
Got some good compliments on that, looks like.
Very cool.
Livy said, this is my first time using Discord and it seems simple, but I don't use it for anything else. Would Slack cause the same issues? Great question, and great way to lead us to our next slide, which is we looked far and wide and thought about what we could use that would actually be accessible for assistive technology users, for people with ADHD, for people with sensory issues, where a lot of these channels are just like too much noise. And we came up with what everyone knows, Slack. Slack is actually pretty accessible. And, my lived experience with screen readers is Dorlyn, because Dorlyn is my real life homie. And watching Dorlyn use Discord with the screen reader And then seeing how easy Slack was a real aha moment for me. I think it's hard to put in words how annoying and frustrating it is when you're trying to navigate, but you have to like memorize 4 different keystrokes in order to get to where you need to go. And with Slack, we don't really have to do that as much. It's not as jumbled. There's not a lot going on. I've used Slack myself for other groups, and it works really nicely, especially if you don't need to meet for videos or anything like that. So this is what we propose, and we hope that everyone is okay with this because our group has grown a lot, especially in the past month, and we have a lot more members and more people looking to join who are using assistive technology or who, like, Discord is just not gonna really work for them when something else will and do the same thing. So with Slack, what we would like to do with our Discord is we're not going to just delete the Discord, but we do want to take the conversation over to this Slack group. I'm going to put this link in the chat actually so that everyone can go ahead and join it. Here you go. If you sign up on the emails for the newsletter, we'll email you this link as well. So whenever someone signed up, you'll get this link so that you can join. But yeah, so we're going to keep our announcements page open so that anybody still in Discord will at least get announcements about everything happening. And we're going to leave all of the channels where we are, like, where we have a bunch of resources. So like our resource channel, we're going to leave that there so anyone who wants to go back to that can. But the general chat and all the other channels, we're going to kind of bring over to Slack so that we can keep everything kind of in Slack. But those of us like me who, like, I'm a heavy Discord user. I am a part of a bunch of groups on Discord, as a lot of other people may be. At least if we keep that and you're more of a Discord user, you'll get our announcements. And if you want to hang out with us and chat and get resources, you can come over to Slack. And we have someone who actually worked directly with Slack on their accessibility, like went to them, talked with them and said, hey, these are the barriers that I'm having based off the assistive technology that I'm using. Talk with the developers at Slack, and Slack actually implemented pretty much everything that they suggested. So we know that Slack is really accessible, usable, and will not cause a headache for anybody who would like to join it and participate, including our very own Dorlyn, which, it is kind of wild for us to have a platform where our, 50% of the people who are running, who are at least doing the streams can't use. So I'm really excited for Dorlyn to be more active and to actually see what's being said in the Slack, and for more people to join us and actually be able to use it. And I know we have a core group of people on Discord. We all talk on there. I hope we can keep that synergy going in Slack. So tell me what y'all think, and then we're going to get started, I promise.
Yeah.
Robodom said Discord has gotten more complicated recently. It has.
Robo, will you still come say good morning to us on Slack?
I know, right? We still need our morning messages. Liz said, I took a while to understand Discord 2020. Now I'm used to it. Looks like we need a learning management system model. WCAG 2.1 AA certified. Slack is much easier to set up. Yeah, I set up the Slack. Okay, y'all know I was in here making bots and stuff for us. It was so
working hard over here, guys.
I am very excited about what I learned. It was a great experience, but Slack took like 5 minutes and the whole thing was up and running. So it's just so much easier. Robo said Discord and Slack have become my main online chat services. Okay. Liz said an issue with Slack is it deletes messages after 90 days. We're having that issue with Toronto JavaScript. Dang, you probably got to pay for like the pro version for that not to happen.
Oh, that's an
Um,
interesting thing I had no idea about.
Me
Okay.
either. Um,
Thank you, Liz.
Kathy said, I think you can change the deletion policy with Slack. Okay.
Ooh.
Liz said, totally good with Slack. Hulda said, let's go Slack. Hey, Hulda, what up?
Hey, Hilda.
Kathy said, totally happy with Slack since I use it with other communities too. That was the other thing. I was like, you know what? All of us, most of us, if we're in tech at least, like we are on some type of Slack community. It is it's Slack and Discord. So I was like, Slack is probably something where people are familiar with it, and if they're not, it's going to be really simple for them to use. And it's not like what is this? You know, you really have to learn Discord unless it's, you know, I don't know. Lively said, will you add announcement in Slack as well? Yeah, so Slack will be our primary source of announcements and everything. We're just going to leave, we're going to leave the Discord announcements up for people who are trickling in who don't know that we've changed our over to Slack, stuff like that. They may find like us by accident. At least the Slack will kind of direct them back. The Discord will direct them over to Slack. So I'll probably do like a bot that as soon as you get on there, it tells you like, hey, we're in Slack now. Liz gave us a link to create or paste code snippets in Slack. Oh, cool. Go Africa with the bots. Robo said, of course I'll
Right?
say
That's what I was
hello.
thinking too.
Robo said, of course I'll say hello on Slack. Where else am I going to get any responses to my usual greetings?
Oh.
Liz said you have to pay at the org level if you want to change the deletion time. Dang. I'm guessing hundreds, which is why Toronto went with 5,000 plus people on Slack hasn't paid. Wow, okay. Kathy said, I think since we have resources on Google Docs and it wouldn't be too bad to have messages deleted. Yes. So that'll probably, wait, messages? In the resource, like in chat? I just thought about what you said. Do you mean like it gets like if we have a resource channel and it deletes anything that's past 90 days? Because yeah, we definitely would need to make sure that we're putting those resources in a Google Doc, because sometimes the resources are just things that people put in there. So we'll figure that out.
Hopefully that's just the sorry, I just got a message and it deleted my train of thought.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Robo said using Discord to direct people to Slack, using Slack to direct people to Switch, coming full circle. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Who's ready for some HTML?
This girl.
Awesome. We're doing it, y'all. It's happening.
Yay.
All right. Here's what you're going to need for today. You're going to need your thinking caps. First time in chat. What's up, one of the Micahs? They said, I think pinned messages in Slack are kept. Okay. Interesting. HTML. We'll talk about community help at the end. So you're going to need today access to Replit or access to your own VS Code, whatever you use to write your code, that's fine. But if you want to use Replit, Replit is pretty cool. I'll click on this and put it in the chat as well. Replit is cool because you can see your code on a web page as you do it, which is pretty handy. I'm gonna log in, and once you log in, you can put, HTML, CSS, JS right here. You can put create a Replit, and it'll give you a nice little template here to start. And look, it says hello world. So, if you put anything in here and then you press run, it should run. I'm sure I did something wrong. Oh, there it is. It says hi there. So I put hello world, hi there. And we're excited to see that, nothing is ever fully accessible in this world, unfortunately, but but Dorlyn can use it and it worked and the screen reader read it. So Dorlyn's
Yep.
on here too with us. And we're going to try to share screens. We forgot to do a run through of that, but we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
All right, let's see if we got anything else in here. Robo said, I've never used Replit before. It sounds very handy. Kathy says, yay. Yes. So we're fans of Replit because at the very least, we just want to be able to use it and know what we're doing as we use it. And from what we can see, it seems like Replit is pretty okay. Am I wrong? Let me make sure I'm not wrong about that.
I mean, we gave it a run through earlier this week a little bit, and so far so good. I mean, I haven't gotten real in depth with it yet, but I'm looking forward to learning and figuring it out. And if not, we've always got Notepad to fall back on, so it's all good.
Yeah, we got the Notepad Bandit over here, coding in Notepad. So, semantic HTML. So, hopefully, everyone has clicked on the link who's hanging out here and actually participating. Open it up, make a little account, and leave it in the background because we're going to talk a little bit first so that we can get a background on what it is that we want for HTML. Bob Forno said Notepad plus plus. Yep. One time for that.
That's what's up.
All right. Semantic HTML. What does that even mean? It means that our code is written correctly. Is how I think of it. Like, our code is written correctly. What would you say, Dorlyn? How would you describe semantic HTML?
Yeah, using, like you said, the code's written correctly, using the proper tags, closing the tags properly, using the correct elements so that it can then be parsed through by assistive technology correctly.
Mm-hmm. All right, chat. What would you say in your own words is semantic HTML if you know what it is? Well, if no one is going to say it, you're going to learn it right now. It's all good. Liz said HTML that says what it is, right? That's announcing to the user what's happening, what the structure is, what you're landing on. So HTML has built-in functionality and accessibility. Kathy Code said being able to understand the structure of the code easily just by reading it. No, Liz said no endless sea of divs. Yes. So HTML5, let's be clear. We're talking about HTML5 here because HTML in the past didn't really come out the box with much functionality or accessibility. But with HTML5, we got semantic markers. And our semantic markers are things like header, nav, main, and footer, right? So the header is our header area, which kind of comes before the actual page. It gives us some extra information. We have an area that's like our nav area, right? So that's usually a list of links that take us somewhere else and then take us back home, right? We have our main section that has all of our information. And then we have our footer section that maybe has like copyright, blah, 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 or another navigation area you can put in footer that gives even more links, right? So these are the things we're talking about when we're talking about semantic HTML, using these built-in, right? These built-in tags and wrapping them around your content so that screen readers and voice to text and text to voice and all these different assistive technology programs and hardware can use what you put on the web so it can parse the information correctly. All right. It helps a person understand the structure of the page and how to orient themselves. And Dorlyn will talk a little bit more about this as well. There's also something called ARIA, which is Accessible Rich Internet Application. it uses a role attribute, usually when you're using JavaScript. So we're going to have a whole 2 weeks on ARIA, and we're going to have someone who knows a lot more about ARIA and how to explain it on. Graham's going to be hanging out with us to help us with that. But for now, we don't have to worry about ARIA. We're just going to talk about good old-fashioned HTML and how to build a page structure by structure well. All right, so here's the semantic structure of your HTML code. These are the things that you want to keep in mind as you're building your page. You want to make sure that you have a page title. The page title is so that the user knows where they are as they're navigating. So if you press, what's the command for when you switch in between screens, Dorlyn?
Oh, when I Alt plus Tab will cycle you through all your open screens on a Windows machine. And each time I land on one of those pages, it'll read me the title of the web page, assuming it's marked up semantically.
Right. So sometimes we forget about that, and it'll say page 1, which is not going to give the user of assistive technology any indication about which page that is. They're like, page 1, okay, that can mean anything. I want it to say like Dell computers, right? Or Amazon microphones. Whatever the content is, it needs to be explicit and wrapped in that title tag. Another thing, language. Language is something we want to make sure that we explicitly state in our header area. We have landmarks. We're going to talk about landmarks. Those are things like main, section, instead of just div, aside, things like that. We're going to talk about
one thing on, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Nah.
Well, I was just going to say with those not divs and using those structures, like then my screen reader recognizes those as different regions and I can skip region by region. And one of my favorite things is being able to skip to a main region because it has its own quick key and I could be right there. So it's so cool when people use that properly. And that was my thing on regions. Go ahead into headings or where you're heading next.
Yeah, that's a great example of that is every page has repeatable content. Like I don't need to go through your 10 navigation licks every time I hit a page. But if I can hit main, if I can get there, then I can get to the meat of the whatever we're doing. But if you don't wrap it in anything, then I just have to cycle through each thing and just guess about like how important it is. We're going to talk about headings. We're going to talk about how to create a link properly. So link versus buttons, the distinction. We're going to talk about navigation regions. We're going to get a little bit into tables, but not very much. And then lastly, we're going to talk about lists. So when we create our HTML page, it's going to have all of these structures in them. And then we're going to kind of build up on those structures every time we see each other. But in general, we're going to make a page and you can think about what you want to make it. I'm making for fun a newsletter, a newsletter sign up, very easy one. You can make one about cats, right? As long as your cat page has a heading, has a link, a navigation area, and maybe a list somewhere, which would probably be in your navigation area.
A list of reasons why you love cats.
It could be a recipe, a list of reasons why you love cats.
An ordered list of the reasons why you love cats.
Yeah.
No. All right. Sorry, I digress.
All right. So let's talk about page title a little bit. Page title. Title every page. Title every page. And the page title should be similar to whatever the H1 of the page is. So we know we only have one H1. We'll get to that when we get to headings. And the H1 is the main topic of the page. So your main topic of the page and your title are going to be the same. But remember, title is important because if I'm skipping between tabs or in between programs, I want to know where I'm landing. And that's what title is giving me.
Or even if I've like not shut down my computer, but let it go to sleep and then it's woken back up, my first thing to do is going to be to ask my computer what page I'm on. Like, I'm not going to alt tab around. I'm going to see where I'm at immediately, and hopefully it'll tell me something descriptive.
Okay, let's talk about language. I like this one because you don't really think about it till you think about it. So we have two different language tags or elements. Someone can tell me if I'm saying these terminologies wrong, but we have the full language of a page, and this encompasses the entire page. Let's say it's English. You got to look up those language attributes, language descriptive 2-letter words, whatever you want to call it. You look up the language codes for whatever language it is, and then you just kind of put it in there. But let's say you have a sentence that's written in Spanish for whichever reason. If you don't specify the language for that, and someone's using assistive technology that reads out the information, it's going to read the information in like an English like accent. So it'll say, if it's hola, it'll, hola, it'll be like hola, it'll sound very strange. So those are some things that I think people don't really think about that much, but is really interesting. Got anything on language, Dorlyn?
I'm just thinking of a recent example I came across where the page title was off. It was titled page 1 and the language code was Italian, even though it was in English. And so every time my screen reader landed on the page, it says page una. And it was like, okay. So yeah, those things are important because otherwise it makes things go sideways for us.
Yeah.
It's also great, if I was just also going to say, if someone's needing to translate a page, it's going to be easier on their software to translate it if it knows what language it's actually in. Right. I believe
a lot of these things we give an example of a screen reader because that's pretty global, and it's Dorlyn's lived experience and mine because I use a screen reader for work all day. But a lot of this has to do with like SEO and other assistive technologies that need to parse through this information to give the correct information to the user.
Yep.
All right, let me check on some of these comments. Robo said the internet can always use more cat websites. Liz dropped a link to their Crazy Cat Coffee website. They said, be nice, gift wrap your code in semantic HTML tags. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about landmarks. So landmarks, and I'm going to click on one of these links that I have in here, and let's pull it up so you can actually see what that looks like. I don't think this is what I was looking for. Okay, here's some examples. Oops. No. All right. Our major landmarks are, do you know them, Dorlyn?
Yeah, I think header, navigation, main, aside, footer.
I'm scared. Did you read my PowerPoint before this?
No, I actually didn't.
I have them in that exact order. So yes, those are our main headers. Those are the ones that screen readers can read. I think aside is one of the ones that screen readers sometimes don't read, actually.
Yeah, I don't like aside.
I think they use them for things like newspaper articles and things like that.
All right, give me 1 second. Tank just busted in the door. I'm going to go close that.
Okay.
Tank's here, everyone.
So yeah, these are our main landmarks. Our header area comes before the page actually starts. The navigation is just like I said, that navigation. The main is where all the meat is, and I want to show you what that looks like. these are some examples of what it would look like. The header, which has the logo, a name, and maybe the title. And this has a form. So I guess this is like a site search area. This is our list of navigation links. So this is kind of like written in pseudocode a little bit. So pretty much everything I just said. And we'll pull up something that I did and I'll show you an example of that. Let's talk about ARIA a little bit. We are not going to get into it, but one good thing to know when we're talking about navigation is if you have two navigation areas, for example, you may have a global navigation area that gets you to different pages, and then you may have a sidebar navigation area that gets you to more different pages, but it's under a different topic. And you can use ARIA to kind of differentiate between the two navigations so that the user doesn't just hear navigation and then navigation again. So it might say navigation, home bar, and then navigation, TV links. I don't know, whatever it is. Todd Libby said, aside is problematic with screen readers. Yes. Thanks for telling us. What's up, Todd? Thanks for coming in. You may need to correct me some, Todd, today for sure. Let's see what else everyone else said. Kathy said, I used to use a website which had a placeholder cat pictures to use when building a website. I actually remember that. I've used that. I don't know what it's called though. Oh, place kittens. That's really cute. I actually want to see that. That's adorable. I'm going to put this over here. Okay, let's talk about headings. Headings, every page should have an H1. The H1 should describe the page. Why are headings important though? Dorlyn.
They give us the structure of the page. I think of them like the outline of it. When I first started learning screen readers and learning how to navigate the web, H, the quick key for heading, was literally the first command I used or was taught. And I think it's that way for a lot of folks because it's a really great way to get into a website and get a really quick idea of what's on the page when they're used correctly. And then you can get back up to the top instead of having to listen to the whole page once through to get an idea of what's going on it or just fumbling through it. Just skipping through headings gives you the structure so quickly. So
right.
That's my selling for headings.
And Todd Libby just dropped a gem for us. Instead of ARIA for more than one nav, I use class name and an ID for the nav. Because the first rule of ARIA is to not use it. So if you can figure out how to do something without ARIA, do it that way as long as it's accessible. So thank you for that.
That's cool.
Kathy said, really interesting to be learning about semantic HTML with a screen reader user. I didn't know how useful it could be. Yeah, some of these things I think are really hard to conceptualize unless you have done it yourself or someone explains to you why it matters. A lot of this didn't click for me, even when I knew the information, until I started working more with screen readers every day.
I'm going to share this at some point, but when I first started learning web development, because I was a screen reader user, I think I had a one-up to some extent on someone who might just be learning from the beginning, because I'm hearing each element read out to me each time as I'm navigating a page. And so it was kind of a backwards thing for me from what everyone else is getting, but it's cool. Yeah. It's cool, the relation.
Oh, Robo said, I've met quite a few developers who use headings more for the style. So sometimes they had more than one H1 tag. This is exactly what we're going to talk about because, don't come for me, y'all, but please do. I definitely did that for many years when I was like first learning how to build websites. I don't know, when I was 20 or something, messing around with like WordPress and things like that. I don't know. I'm like, a H2 makes my thing look bigger in the way that I want it to look. But you really should be using headings for structure of the page, and you should be using CSS to make your website look how you want it to look. HTML is just here for the structure. There shouldn't be anything happening visually. Everything should just be in a row, the same way that someone hears something in a row, like it goes down one column. You use CSS to like make it look how you want. You want it to not be in one column. You want it to be, you want it to be big and orange. Use that. So H1, we only need one. It's confusing if there's more than one H1 because you just shouldn't have one. That's pretty much your title. Even though we say we have a title area, it's pretty much the title of the page, to be fair, or the main topic of that title. H2 is the subtitles of the page. H3 would be the subtitle or the topic under the H2. And the way that I used to do it, well, I shouldn't say used to do it, but like one thing I got confused about when I was first learning is I did it literally in order. I would do one H1, and then I would do H2, and then I would do H3, and then H4, and they were all like different topics. But like, if you want it to be, it's easier to like kind of show it than talk about it. So let me.
I think about it as the outline structure from when I was in like middle school and learning how to outline reading in a textbook or something, and you've got your like capital Roman numeral 1 at the top. That's your heading level 1. And then beneath that, you've got like an A. And if you need something that pertains that A beneath it, you get that the regular 1. And that, like, for anyone who remembers that outline structure, I definitely think about it like that and how everything ought to relate to each other. Right. I mean, that's essentially what they are.
So if I have a H1, why I like cats, my subtopics would be my H2. And maybe I say I like cats because they're cute. And my other topic would be my H2. What? No. Oh. What just happened to this? Oh, reset to mine, I guess. Whatever. What's another reason I like cats, Dorlyn?
Gosh, I'm a dog person. This is hard. Harder than semantic HTML.
They're cuter than dogs. So under the H2, I would have an H3. And they're cute. They're fluffy. And the next one would be H3, right? And so forth. So H2s are like our main bullet points. The H3 is whatever's under the H2. And if we expand past that, it'd be H4 and so forth. So I think that's a pretty good. Can you increase the font? Oh, my bad, y'all. Of course. All right, there goes my big font. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me read some of these. Todd said more than one H1 is not a failure of WCAG, but it is not a best practice. Yep, very true. Very true. Actually, it's one of me and Dorlyn's pet peeves. It's one of our pet peeves. We don't like more than one H1. It's not best practice, but yeah, you're right. It'll pass on an audit for sure. But we want y'all to do best practice because it's not hard. For this, at least.
Might give you a QA note, though.
What else did Todd say? Ooh, left a link in here for the Alley project. How do accessible heading structure? Yes, definitely. Someone please grab that for us. I'm gonna grab it myself. I don't know where I'm gonna put it because I can't remember where this document is for some reason. But I want to make sure.
It's Google Docs. Is that the one you're looking for with all our links?
Yes. I'm gonna put it in my coding journal for now. For some reason I can't find my stuff today. Okie dokie. Lists. We have unordered lists, ordered lists, and description lists. So things that are for like glossaries. So you use the UL tags for unordered lists, the OL tags for ordered lists. So things that are like 1, 2, 3. Unordered lists would be things that are like bullet points. So just something to note, especially if you're going to use it in your navigation or in the body of a paragraph or something like that. Tables and forms, we're going to have to get into that another time because that is a whole nother story. But we'll say one thing about tables. There's a difference between a table that has data in it, right? That I need to be able to navigate using some type of, if I'm a keyboard user or a screen reader user or assistive technology, I need to be able to use commands that'll help me navigate and read out how the numbers and the headings, not the headings, are they headers? I think they're headers.
Headers.
Yeah, they're headers. How the headers at the top relate to the information on the side. So that's a data table, right? Because it has data in it. And then we have things that are called layout tables. And layout tables are just for visual beauty. Like they're just to move around the structure of the page so that something looks like something. So don't use a data table. Don't use a data table in HTML if it's just for layout, use CSS. Okay?
Yeah. And make sure that your tables do have those row and column headers, not headings. We've seen that before where someone will put headings in their table instead of headers, and that's interesting the way it reads. But we're going to get into tables later, so we'll get into all
Yes.
that.
Tables and forms have to be their own thing because we're gonna go in. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a religious experience for us to get it all out there because those are really big parts of navigating the web and parts that I think we get wrong a lot as web developers, building those things way too complicatedly.
Well, and they are more complicated to code in than just like a heading or a list like we're doing today. So
Yeah. Layout tables. Wow, circa 1990s, pre-CSS. Yep. Remember when everything was a table? It just had to be. There was no other way to do it, I guess. That was Liz. One other thing I wanted to say about forms. Forms, no one cares what your form looks like. They just care that it works. Filling out forms are already kind of annoying and already kind of like a drag to begin with. Like, I don't really care what color the form is. I don't care like that you did any like really cool style with it. You can put that somewhere else on your website. You know, just use what you have and make it look usable. But anything that messes with the form and how it functions or animates it or whatever, you probably don't need it. So instead of a custom form, consider just using Semantic HTML so that the form can be read by everyone.
yep. Use
That's
those
all.
native semantic elements because then all of your form fields are going to act the way they're supposed to act. You're not going to have to tell them how to do that, you know. And I don't even know if there's anything more frustrating than coming across a form that isn't coded properly with its name, role, or state, or however, you know, what I come across because I can't use it, you know?
And I hope every time we talk about forms, we drop Rachel's talk about accessible forms because it changed my life kind of. Um, and Liz just dropped it in there, and we'll have it on our Google Doc with all of our resources. Rachel did a talk about how to build accessible forms, and it is fantastic. If you are interested and want to learn that, watch that talk. It's so good. Todd said, "Don't use placeholders. Use accessible and visual labels, please." Oh, Dorlyn, go off.
Todd just did. He's got it. Yeah. Oh my God. Placeholders are ridiculous. They disappear. Blank.
Todd said, "Placeholders are not labels. No, we need labels." But that really is its own thing. That's why I'm like, we're not going to get into that today. We're just good. We're gonna move past it and do a whole thing on it. It's gonna be good. All right, let's talk about links versus buttons. What should a link do? Actually, I'm not even gonna show it right now. I'm still visually showing tables and forms that slide, but I want chat to tell me what's the difference between how a link behaves and how a button behaves. Let's talk about that first. Liz said Rachel's talk is cat themed. I'll read some see if I missed anything while y'all put it in the chat, because I need to hear what the difference between a link and a button is. Oh, Kathy asks, what do you think about HTML emails using tables? It's so tricky to format emails. Okay. Email coding, I know people who do it, and it is a world of its own thing that I don't understand. And it sounds like a nightmare kind of to me. So I don't have an answer for that, but I would be interested if anyone here knows about building emails. I know that they use tables a lot, but I'm not sure, I don't know anything about it. I assume that they work well.
When I get into an email, I'll hear like something about a table, but it's never something where I'm using table commands in it. Like it's not an actual table for me, but I think that's probably when someone has used it to format it in that way. And I don't know if that, like, how you're moving things around, if I'm going to send out an email, I would like definitely old school, using like Outlook or whatever, and using my, my keyboard commands to make my heading structures or my lists or links, anything like that. But I've never, I don't know. That's interesting though.
Yeah. I figured when it comes to that, they have some type of system in place, because I hear about tables and I'm like, I know it's a thing. I don't know the accessibility of it or anything, but Todd earlier said there's a short story in the article I shared about why more than one H1 is not the best and the history behind it. I would love to read that actually. Yeah. I think I did take that already in here. Let's see what else. Oh, first time in chat, Abigail, what's up? Abigail said, have seen devs that will use headers for accessibility and SEO, then set up CSS to apply styles to both headers and the header class for styling flexibility. For example, H2 class equals H3, hello world, would use the H2 structure, but H3 look. What? I know. I'm like, how? That's interesting. I didn't know that you could do that.
We didn't talk about SEO though when you were talking about heading structures and how, as your search engines are searching sites, it's those headings that are really going to grab them.
Right. Yep. Because they're parsing through the website to see which keywords, and usually it's the headings, right? The headings give you the main topic. So that's why some people keyword stuff, and you don't want to do that, but the nature of it. Let's see. All right. Hulda said links take you to places. Kathy Code said links go somewhere while buttons don't. Liz said links take you to somewhere, buttons do an action like submit a form. Todd said a link takes you somewhere, a button performs an action. A div is a container and is not used for buttons. Preach, yes. A div is a container, y'all. It's a container. Just use the button element. It's not. I mean, just it's there, and when you hit it, it says button, and it does the button thing. I don't know, y'all. These are just, one of the things that it's like, hey, if you walk away, don't use div for button. Help us out. A link is a link. A link is going to take us somewhere. We know that. A button is going to probably keep us on this page and do an action of some sort or submit something, but you're not really going to go anywhere. Kathy said, also, how you activate a button is different to activating a link. I think you press enter for buttons and you can't for links. I think you can press enter for links.
You definitely can push enter for links and buttons. I think it's the space bar that isn't maybe sometimes able
sometimes
to
it's weird.
activate the link, but a lot of times I can use either enter or the space bar to activate both links and buttons. So someone in the chat might know, when it might be that a space bar might not work. Or
right. Todd said HTML emails are hard to use HTML5 for the structure, thus the use of tables. Okay, that makes sense to me. So pretty much because they're using like old school HTML for emails, there is no real semantic way to, I'm guessing, not semantic, I shouldn't say semantic, but I'm guessing they just have to use tables. Interesting. That's a rabbit hole I do not want to go down. First time in chat. Hey, Tanya Bernard. They said it's all tables with role presentation. Oh. Okay.
Well, I bet we will learn more about it naturally as we get our email group going.
Oh, man. Kathy said, thanks for answering my question, everyone. First time in chat, Haval86. They said, hi all, first timer here. Thanks for the study group, everyone. All right. Let's see what else. All right, let's move on to links versus buttons. We did it already. The last piece of accessibility we want to talk about, and you should know this because we talked about this already in this chat in the group, is link names. Don't put click here. No click here's. Tell us where you're taking us. What if I'm just navigating, just looking at links and I see here? I don't know where here is.
Yeah, absolutely. Descriptive link text is key. I often, if I'm looking for a link specifically, I'll use a trick that a lot of screen reader users use, and pull up a list of just all the links that are on a page. And if there's a bunch of click here links, that list is useless to me. But if it's got, cat photos and, why cats are cool link or whatever, and I've got descriptive text, I can from that list just navigate straight to that link. Make my life a lot easier.
Kathy Code said, I cry internally every time I see a link with her href equals JavaScript :void 0 when it could have been a button. Yeah, that's what I call doing too much, but like, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Wait, hold on. Can you read that string again? That ref thing? I feel like I've heard that so many times, and Kathy just made a light go on for me.
It's href equals JavaScript :void open parentheses 0 close parentheses when it could have been a button. Okay. Have you heard that?
All right, I think it was just because there's something I just heard recently. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Also, links should receive focus. We should know if it's opening a new tab or a new window, if it's opening a file, or if it's going to a site that's not the current one that we're on. Typically.
No joke. Oh my goodness, I hate it so much when I click on a link and it automatically starts downloading something, and I had no idea of it because I'm like, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought you were going to take me to a link for that. I don't want any of your stuff downloading onto my computer, you know? So please let us know.
Talking more about buttons, man, some of these I'm like, we're gonna have to come back to, and this looks like
Mhm.
one of them. But hamburger buttons, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that that's been one of my weaknesses for some of the pages that I built, building hamburger menus that are accessible and can be navigated with uh, both read by assistive technology, and you're able to tab to it. Sometimes I mess up on that. But I don't want to get too much into that because I want us to actually make a page. And we'll come back to some of these topics either next week or at the end of this, but I'm guessing it's going to be next week because it's already almost 5:30. Whoa. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 5-minute break for anyone who needs it. And when we get back, we're going to have Replit up and we're going to get our hands on the keyboard and we're going to take a look at 2 different code bases that I wrote. And we're going to look at an accessible version of it and an inaccessible version of it so that you can kind of get an idea of what the code looks like. And then I want y'all to maybe create your own pages, even if it's something as simple as saying hello world and then 3 reasons why you like cats. All right, so in 5 minutes, we'll be back. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.
Hey y'all, we're back. We are back.
Hello.
All right, if you're with us, what we're about to do is we're about to get into HTML. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kind of walk you through this. If we go to replit.com, you're going to log in. You're going to click on Create Replit up here. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger. Create Replit. You're going to go down to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you're going to press Create Replit. And what's going to open up is your HTML index file with your web view. So that's why we kind of like using this, because it gives you an automatic web view. That's good to know. All right, so this is the starter code it gives us. We have the HTML, that's the whole page that's wrapped. We have a head area that gives us the name, the title. It links the CSS style sheet. So for people who don't know like how to do HTML or write HTML or any of the concepts behind that, this is probably not like very much of a beginner class, especially because I wouldn't teach this. So bear with me. We have some people in the chat who will correct me if I'm wrong with any of this. But yeah, those are the areas we have on here. And then we have our body. Our body is where all of our information goes. So the first thing that I want to do with everyone is I want you to look at this, pop it up on your own screen if you can, but if you can't and you just want to passively watch, look at my screen and tell me, based off of the things that we talked about today, and knowing that this is probably, let's say that this is supposed to be our title or something. Let's say Hello World is our title. What are we missing here? Tell me one thing we're missing here in this beautiful HTML code. Someone said we're missing a main section. We are missing a main section. Robo said we're missing headers. We are missing a header section. What do you think we're missing, Dorlyn, that I didn't mention?
You know, I haven't opened it on mine. I had a little issue, but I didn't hear a language attribute.
There's no language on here. Anything else we're missing?
Did I hear page title? Did someone
There
say that?
is a title. The title is Replit. I'm not mad at it. There's no H1. So those are some things to think about. Those are the things that you would probably want to put in there. So Liz said language, header, nav, main, H1. Right. So where would we put those things? If we wanted to do that, you know what I do? I use ChatGPT for everything, but I do have my own that I did before this. But let's see, where did I put language? Here's our tag for language. I'm just going to copy it and place it where it's supposed to go. Language goes all the way at the top, right after doc type. Oops. So it would be HTML lang equals quote en end quote. All right, let's make sure I did this right.
Cool.
Link to CSS style sheet. I think that's there already. I just don't have a CSS style sheet that I'm creating for this. All right, so we have our language now. Let's see, what should we put in next? Maybe our header. So our header is like our banner area. The banner generally tells us what's going on with the page. So let's make a header area. And for this one, we'll put cats. Header, I love cats. And I think we would wrap this in H1.
I think the H1 would be under,
right,
header would be outside of it. It'd be the opening header tag. Then you'd have your opening H1 tag, your text, your closing H1 tag, and your closing header tag. Although I'm sure the chat will tell us.
Yeah, chat, come on. This is where we need you. And I think the header is under the head.
Yes. The header should be underneath your body tag, your opening body tag.
Right, because the head doesn't show up visually.
Right, that's like your metadata.
And our H1 is why I love cats. Am I missing anything else? Robo said the header might not show up because it's not in body tag, so we fixed that. Robo said the head contains all metadata of your page, viewport and how we're viewing it, and devices, and we have our title. We're going to change our title to I love
How
cats.
about just cats? Yeah.
Cats?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we want to have plenty of room to put stuff underneath this. Maybe I love cats, but
Okay.
accessibility kitties.
All right, Robo said looks good so far. If I didn't say it already, Robo is our in-house front end alley person.
Appreciate
so
you today, Robodom. And
right.
every day, actually.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else in here that I was missing? I think it was the main, right? So under the header, we'd probably say this is our main section. And wrap why I love cats in there.
Well, in your main section then, we probably want to put like a heading level 2. Start off and say...
Don't kill me over my
Did you close the header tag too? Up there before you started your main tag? Okay, cool. Sorry.
H2, why I love cats subtopic, right?
Which...
Why did I say I love them? Because they're cute.
Wait, what was the name of the title of the page?
Or our
H1? I love cats.
Why I love cats
is our H1. Okay. So they're cute. I guess, or cute could be our header, and then we're going to have a paragraph underneath that saying why they're cute, or I don't know how we're setting this up, but I think we need an H2 here. And so cute.
Ooh, this thing is trying to generate stuff for me. Hell yeah. I'd love you to. It said cats are cute because they are cute. They are so cute because they are so. Okay, I'm with it. Thanks,
this sounded
AI.
Great. Good bot.
Oh, the next one is trying to give me one. It says cats are funny. True.
Cats are funny. All right, I like that as our next H2.
Another reason to use Replit. Okay, let's see. Kathy said looks good. Liz put an example in here with header class, text align, nav, a bunch of stuff in here. Home menu. Okay, this is something great that I'll steal. So this is our navigation area that Liz just gave us. Thank you, Liz.
So let's put that in between our
I think this is for the header, right?
header. It actually is its own tag. So it'll go in between our header closing tag and our body opening tag, I would think. Or maybe it does go in the, no, I don't think it goes in the header. I think it's its own thing. Chat?
Oh
Help
yeah,
us out.
this I see what she did.
It's its
So
own.
she put the navigation in the header.
Oh, it is in the header. Okay.
And this is not going to be aligned perfectly or right, but we're using ordered lists and list items to create this. So we have a home, a menu, we have something that's called the cats, and then blog, and these are all links, right? They're links in an anchor tag. We got the anchor tags, the closed anchor tags. We have list items, which means they're gonna actually not just be like a random bullet that says bullet. And forgive me for this indentation because this is all on the fly. So let's just see what this looks like. Let's just run it. Okay. We got home, menu, the cats, blog, why I love cats. Cats are cute. We got our paragraph right here. Looking good. I like it. So what would this sound like, I wonder, to a screen reader?
Are you able to share that Replit with me?
Mm-hmm. So we're going to send it over to Dorlyn. And then if you are currently doing a Replit and you'd like to share yours, put it in the chat. Let's see it.
All right, let's see. So you just put that in there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Oh, I need to share. Probably, huh?
Yeah, I think I have to change the screen too somehow. Let's see. I think I put it on this one, Dorlyn share. Yeah, because this, now you're super big, so you should be able to share, I think.
Wow. Sorry. Let me get out of the chat.
Oops. Accidentally got rid of our chat. No, chat, come back.
Why is it?
Oops.
You know.
Let's see what's happening here.
That's interesting. Let's see. Maybe if.
Oh, it was working before.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a screen reader, and we can mess around with it while you mess around with that one. Because I want you to...
No, I think it's something on your end. Didn't.
Oh, it is?
All right, let me just hit cancel. Let me try again. Let me try again. Try again.
I see it up here. I wonder if I can...
I think it...
But it's blacked out. It's like grayed out. Like you disabled it or something. All right, bear with us for a moment, y'all. We appreciate y'all.
You know, I think...
Okay, I see it's ungrayed out. I think it's working out. Yay! Okay, I just need to make you bigger. We can see it, but I don't know if we can hear it.
Oh, that's interesting, because I did hit share sound.
Is your screen reader talking right now?
Yes.
Let's see.
You might need to. Do I need to change? It's probably my audio because my audio is coming just from this right now. Or I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it shouldn't be this hard, but
Yeah, you
it
should be able to
is, and
hear
it's
the
okay.
sound.
I don't
Well,
actually don't know how to fix that. Quickly at
let's see.
least.
Maybe.
There's not even a sound button on this. But while you do that, I'm gonna turn mine on
Mm-hmm.
and just see what happens. All right. Did y'all hear that?
No.
I probably. It's probably because. Oh, I see. I'd probably have to change our screens for it to be heard. Darn, that's
Why can't I get
disappointing
over
that
there?
we can't hear it. I think
Yeah.
last time we could hear it, but I don't.
Are you able to see?
I can
Yeah.
see.
Somehow we were able
Yeah,
to share our. We. Oh, did we do it through Zoom last time?
I think
Maybe.
we
I
did.
don't
That's
know.
what it was.
Yeah.
All right, it's all good. For now, go ahead and stop sharing, and we'll work on this for next time. That's really disappointed. We wanted to show y'all what Jaws would be saying. I can mess around with voiceover. The commands for voiceover are I need to figure out how to change them, but you need like 4 fingers at a time to navigate around, and it's completely different from Jaws. So I'm just like so rusty. Oh, you hear something was
All right. There we
subscribe.
go. I think now I'm not sharing.
Yeah.
That is too bad. Were you able to hear my sound when I shared it with you when we practiced? I don't remember. All right.
No, I didn't
Anyway.
even think about it. And now I'm like, oh, I didn't hear it.
I
Okay.
mean, I might be able to. No, never mind. Never mind. That'd be a horrible sound. I was going to say I can unplug my headphones, but all right. Anyway, guys, you just have to imagine the screen reader this week. And I can open these links, though, and tell you what he is reading me.
Okay. I wanted to show y'all an actual two different versions of a code base for a newsletter sign up. One is accessible for the most part, and the other one is not. So I'm gonna hop over to this one. This is the sign up for our monthly newsletter, and I want my good devs to take a look at this code base and tell me if you see anything that looks off. Okay.
Oh,
All right. So this is the one that I gave you, Dorlyn.
I have it open right now, I think. Oops. I think I just put an H in it. Oops.
All right. Looks like I got it. We got the language up on here.
Mm-hmm. You didn't close the. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's just on a different line.
Oh, get out of there. All right. Robo said H1 in the header and in the body. Not best practice, right? So we have an H1 in the header. Then we got another H1. So the first H1 is sign up for our monthly newsletter. The second H1 is subscribe now. Okay, what else do we have in here? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 form, 1, 2, 3, 4 form fields. We have a name. Liz said the second H1 should be an H2. Yup. So probably this one should be H2. And when you go through with your screen reader, Dorlyn, on this page, what does your screen reader read?
Let me see. I think I need to find the run button. All right. Let's see. How do I do this? Oops. I'm not sure. How did I run it before?
Liz said the radio button should be in a field set with a legend using Rachel's accessible form code. Yeah, so these buttons are actually not really labeled correctly.
Oh, wait.
There's no...
Wait. I think, am I in it? Oh, I'm so confused, guys. I found an unlabeled button and I think it's
probably my unlabeled button. I'm also going to take this link that Liz put in here. This is accessible form examples. I'm going to definitely copy and paste that into our resources. Let's see what she says actually, what they say. Oh, these are all the labels that... This is an actual example. So you want your labels to actually have a label for and then name. So that when the screen reader lands on it, or when any assistive technology lands on it, it knows that the field that they land in is connected or tied to name, right? So that's what I'm missing. So if Dorlyn was going through this, she would probably just hear name and then edit field. So if she was tabbing or arrowing through or just hitting like selectable links using tab, she'd get into this field set and not hear what it was tied to, because they're not programmatically tied together if there's no like for, right? So this should say like for name, for email, for age, and be tied together. But we're going to talk about that at more scale if that is confusing on our, when we get to forms, which is its own thing.
Oh my goodness, me and Replit are... Ugh, all right.
I wonder how you got it to work last time.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't... I did my own little code in there last time and then ran it. This time I'm trying to open one you sent me, and it seems like it is... You know what? Let me go ahead and open the accessible one, because maybe that's what's going on.
That's
maybe...
what I literally just opened up, so that would be perfect.
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right, so for our accessible one, you can see we have language, we have a title, we have a header area. Header is also a good place to put navigation if you have navigation. We don't have navigation for this one because it's just a small landing page Our H1 is within here. Our H2 starts in a section. That's main. So the person would be able to just get to the main section and sign up. If we look at our actual name and then edit fields, name is wrapped in a label for name, and the input type is tied together by the ID. So if you have an ID right here, it's tied together here. So everything is wrapped right here in the label name. So anything you click on, whether it be this or this, you can click on it and it'll get you here because it's tied. But if you look at this one, if I click on name and email, nothing's happening because they're not tied together, right? They're not programmatically tied together, so they are not associating themselves with each other. They're just floating alone, if that makes sense. So here, click on name, it selects it. Click on email, it selects it. Click on age, it selects it. Click on gender, I may be messed up and it doesn't select it. Let's see. All right, any questions? Anyone? Robo said, quick note, sections and divs are somewhat similar in terms of their semantics. Universal containers. Yeah, I don't think section is one of those things that also aren't really read by a screen reader or assistive technology. I'm pretty sure they're just another name for div, but from my understanding, still a little better than just using divs.
I think one of those only type of tags that JAWS anyways has a quick key program for is article.
Okay.
So I could skip by article, but I can't skip by section or div.
Mm-hmm. They're just containers.
I can, yeah, exactly.
Robo said, I have a theory that div is just easier to type out, which is why you see a lot of them. I also think, people are just used to doing it for years, and change is hard. Muscle memory is hard. And they just don't see a reason to do it. But there's good reason to, I'd say. Robo said, I prefer sections over divs any day. Hey, that's why you're our guy. All right, so that is pretty much HTML. We are gonna get more into it in our next class, and Dorlyn will have everything working. We'll take a little bit more time to practice, but like we always say, y'all know we're full-time workers, and sometimes it's hard.
I'm so sorry, guys. I was so looking forward to sharing JAWS and looking at these websites together. I do think I may have found an unlabeled button on Replit though, so
no surprise
more
there.
next time.
So forgot what I was gonna say. I was about to say something and I lost it. It went bye-bye from my brain. It had something to do with this. I don't remember. But yeah, if you're with us, what I would like you to do for next next study session, next study group is to mess around with Replit and make your own small little page. Use ChatGPT if you have to, and use NVDA and navigate with NVDA, which is free, or VoiceOver if you have a Mac, which can be challenging, but I will also be practicing myself so that next time we come on, I can also show y'all how it sounds on VoiceOver. So we'll have VoiceOver and JAWS. Since we have I wouldn't call it a little extra time, but I did want to circle back to maybe one or two topics that we didn't get to talk about a lot. Let me just see. No, we'll save all these for next time, I think. we'll talk a bit more about buttons, links, and forms, but we will probably have forms in its own separate topic that we just talk about forms. Liz, thank you for Scrimba Learn Intro to HTML CSS. Oh, someone told us in the group about Scrimba not being the best for some reason. I think I linked that one. I can't remember why they said it wasn't the best one. JM Sorrel, what's up from chat? Section elements HTML are considered semantic. They are used to represent a standalone section of content within a document, typically with a thematic grouping and often including a heading. Semantic elements like section convey the meaning of the type of content they contain, making the web page more accessible and helping search engines and assistive technologies understand the structure and significance of content on the page. Huh.
Cool.
Liz said Scrimba's Alley course isn't the best. The other courses are, but not accessible yet. Okay, it's the Alley course that wasn't the best. Jam Sorrel said Scrimba course has some ARIA errors. That is why we share what we shared in our group. Okay. Liz said, however, Scrimba is very well structured with good curriculum. I really like Scrimba, but I like it from the perspective of someone who's interested in learning, who was interested in learning how to code, and I used it for that. I didn't use it with any assistive technology, so I can't speak to how accessible it is, but it sounds like they need to fix some ARIA stuff, right? If you missed it in the beginning, we're now on Slack. Slack is where we're going to house ourselves, where we're going to be at. We're going to put all the information in the Discord in the announcements page. You'll see that our chat will be slowly kind of disabled and everything will kind of point you to the link to get on our Slack. So we want to keep the conversation going. Please join our Slack group. Hopefully we can capture everyone. I will put the link in again, just in case you didn't get it before, but it'll also be in the announcements that we'll put in either tonight if I find the energy or tomorrow. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Community help. Community help, we need your help. For those of y'all still with us, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all, and we are coming to y'all to ask for a little bit of help. And this help mostly just has to do with some helpful advice or any extra knowledge or resources you may have on some topics that we're trying to learn more about, so we can make our group more inviting and easier for everyone to use. And one of those things we already talked about was our email newsletter. So we want to send one out monthly, but we want to send one out in an automated way where I'm not like handwriting a monthly newsletter and trying to remember to send it out. We're trying MailChimp right now and trying to see how accessible it is. You can code your emails, like write the HTML tags in MailChimp, but for some reason when Dorlyn was looking at it, I think on either, what was it, PC or phone, the headings in it.
Yeah, when I pulled it up on my PC, the heading wasn't showing up, but when I pulled it up on my iPhone, the heading did show up. So we're gonna get to the bottom of that
thing, but we'll see. We'll see what it is.
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know.
I'm gonna try it on VoiceOver, because even though I can't do VoiceOver live now without getting flustered, I can definitely do it by myself.
I could open it. I can see how it reads with NVDA.
Okay. Liz gave us a link for ConvertKit. Thank you. I'll take a look at that. They know the person who's the designer, so hey, maybe if we have some issues, they'll actually work on it, but we'll look at it. I think those are the only things we really needed some extra help with, but we'll always have a community help area where we'll be asking for resources from everyone here if we come into need for it. The other thing we're asking for, and we have a few people who are helping us with this, shout out to RoboDom, front end devs who are willing to hang out in the chat and kind of be our coders, do pair coding with us, but from the chat.
What happened today was great, us being able to do this and ask and get responses. So very cool. Thank you everyone who responded on those today.
Yeah, I definitely learned something new. HTML is, some say simple, but it's still getting it right, especially if you're not like coding every day. HTML can be challenging. So it's super helpful to have people who are a little bit more knowledgeable as we move forward. Because before we were kind of, it felt like we were teaching. We were really strong on the topic. We can tell you how to fix something. We're not really that good at building it, but that's where the community help is going to be very helpful. So Kathy Co said, I love to help out more. Thank you so much. Robodom said same. So yeah, as long as we have one or two people who are down to do that, we will have a good time.
Beautiful.
And it'll work out. So I don't know the exact date, but not next week, but the week after on Thursday at 4 or 4:15 or 4:30, depending on how the day goes. We will be here and we're going to finish up HTML. We're going to finish up building stuff together, learning a little bit more about it. And then we're going to get into the WAS, because this was just like my version of talking about HTML, semantic HTML, me and Dorlyn's version of it. So we're going to dive into the body of knowledge for the people who are doing this because they want to get certified for the WAS. So Kathy Code said 18th of April. Liz said, always down for helping. Thank you, Liz. You're super helpful already with all the links that you send us and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for today. Got any closing remarks? Also, if you have any questions or comments, now is our little 5-minute wind down to answer any questions and talk among ourselves.
Well, at the beginning, you skipped over fun happenings or whatever. And I just like everyone to know that last week was Tank's birthday.
Yes.
So happy birthday, Tank.
Happy birthday, Tank.
Our little, one of our mascots. We've got lots of four-legged friends here at our study group.
We love that.
But I don't...
Oh, one of the things, a cool thing that happened, everyone's saying, happy birthday, Tank, Kathy, Liz, and Robo.
Yay. Thanks, guys.
Something fun, speaking of Discord, I'm a part of a few gaming Discords, and one is for like Final Fantasy, which I'm obsessed with, Final Fantasy 14, which is a PC game. I play it on my Mac. And I was in a voice chat with an AI like bot or something. And, I was with like 5 other people in the chat, and the AI bot was like talking in its robotic voice. And I was like, what is this voice? Is this like literally AI? Cause it was called AI chat box, and it was talking and conversing with us. And I was like, what the heck? Why is this thing conversing with us? What is this? And they were like, yeah, it's a speech to text. No, not speech to text, text to speech bot, basically, that you can add to Discord. And I learned that someone who was deaf and mute was using this bot through Discord to like play and converse with us. And I looked in the game, and the person was in the game, and their name was literally the thing that I was seeing on the screen, but didn't put like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. And I was like, oh snap, that's really cool. So assistive technology in the wild, in the gaming world.
And bots for the win.
Yeah.
It's like blowing my mind. I love it.
Yeah. Xerxes, who he's blind and he's a developer, and he has a gaming stream where he plays like Stardew Valley and other games using a screen reader. It's really cool. He's in our group, and he also streams. Actually, let me put his thing in the chat right now so y'all can follow them. All right, here is Xerxes stream channel. But I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I think one of the things that he was showing us during that stream was that he can, something that I've been like just trying to figure out, how would you do this if you're using a screen reader and you're also streaming? How do you get what's in the chat? Because he was reading what was in the chat like as it was happening and playing a game, and I was just like, but how? And it's a bot. You can use a bot to do so many things in Discord, and it'll just like do things for you. So I thought that was cool.
Well, he was using a bot in Twitch on that one,
Yes,
right?
he was using a Twitch bot.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
bots all over the place.
It's called Firebot, I think. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's called Firebot, but it's also you can use it for Discord and a few other things. And then the last thing before I forget is Dorlyn, you told me about pull requests with a screen reader.
Oh, well, just yesterday, a friend of mine shared that they knew of a resource where it was a document or some kind of a, step-by-step on how to do a pull request on GitHub using a screen reader. And so I'm going to try and get my hands on that resource so that we can add that to our resources.
Yeah.
But it's out there. I can't wait.
And that's one of the things that we were supposed to do a stream on as well, showing how you would do a screen request, a pull request using assistive technology. That was going to be something we did. So maybe we'll find some time.
We'll get there eventually. Baby steps,
Right.
we're doing some Slack. We'll share some next week, and eventually we'll work all the way up to me sharing my screen and doing a pull request on GitHub. It'll be great, guys.
It'll be great. All right. Well, that's our show. We'll see you on the, I don't know, which day was it? 18th of April.
Yes. April
all right,
18th.
Y'all.
Have a great couple of weeks, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Have a good one.
Bye.
James Sorrell said, thank you, ladies. Roble said, thanks for the stream. Looking forward to it. Kathy said, thank you for your time. Liz said, have an awesome weekend. Thanks.
Yay. Very cool. All
right. Bye, friends.
Bye.
All right. I'm pretty sure we're